They now have 27, but they still have 12 stars. I actually asked the people at the visitor center at the Parliament building in Brussels. I was on a tour there. Why do you only have 12 stars on your flag? And they looked at me dumbfounded. They said, well, we got 12 members. I said, no, you got 27 members now. They said, well, we don't know. Well, I found out why they have 12 stars. The flag designer, Mr. Arsene Heights, he's now over 80 years of age, but he designed the flag, and he wrote an article explaining why he designed the flag like he did. He did this because he believed that the Holy Roman Empire should have the holy element in it. And as a devout Catholic, he believed that the woman depicted in Revelation 12, verse 1 and 2, there's a woman there giving birth to a child with 12 stars about her head. He believed that that's the Virgin Mary there in Revelation 12, and so he should take the 12 stars from her head and put them on the flag, which sends a signal to those who understand these things. Europe is under the flag of Mary. The Catholic Church is very much alive and well and a part of the Holy Roman Empire. You're looking now at a picture of the Virgin Mary with the 12 stars about her head. This was taken from a church right there in Brussels, Belgium. And all over Europe, you'll see the 12 stars wherever you look. Now, beyond that, it's even interesting that they now have 12 stars on all the license plates of all the members of the European Union, and they now also have 12 stars on the euro, the money. So it's everywhere, and it's the symbol of the, remember, Holy Roman Empire, an alliance of church and state, of politics and religion. Now, there was one thing left that Europe needed to really be the United States of Europe or the European Union. They felt like they had to have a constitution. So they began to work on it. In October 29 of 2004, they actually signed a constitution. They got together, and in the same room where the Treaty of Rome was signed to found the common market way back in 1957, they all the members, there were 25 at the time, they signed the Constitution. However, there was a real problem because all of the participating nations, all 25 of them, had to have a vote of all their people, and all of their people had to agree to this new constitution. Well, can you imagine trying to get unanimous agreement among 25 nations? It was almost impossible. Well, it was impossible because in 2005, France held her referendum and the French people voted it down because they knew that this was going to mean the end of French sovereignty. Shortly thereafter, the people of Holland, they voted it down. So now then, Europe was, well, they were sent into 2 years of reassessment. What do we do now? We thought we just about had achieved our dream of the United States of Europe. We've been working on this since World War II. We've been working on this since the founding of the Holy Roman Empire in 1957, and now it looks like the whole thing has crumbled because of the short-sightedness of the French people and the Dutch people. And so they circled the wagons and thought, what can we do? However,
let me call you back.
You know how resourceful sometimes politicians can be. And some of the politicians said, you know, all is not lost. We'll never probably get enough votes for every single nation to approve it. But there's another way out of this impasse. You know, if we would convert this Constitution to a treaty and all of us adopt the treaty, we could get the same goal. And treaties do not require a referendum among all the people. So the idea was born. All 27 nations by now, on December the 13th of 2007, made their way to Lisbon, Portugal, and there they signed this new treaty, which everybody knew contained all the elements of the Constitution. But when is a Constitution not a Constitution? When the politicians say, oh, it's not a Constitution, it's a treaty. Abracadabra, we've got our problem solved. So all the nations signed. However, they still had to have ratification of the parliaments. They did not have to have a referendum, except for one problematic nation. Northern Ireland had it built in its constitution that it still had to hold a referendum. Well, nation after nation, France, Holland, they immediately started ratifying in their parliament. All's going well, because now then the fate of the European Union is in the wiser hands of the politicians, who know what's best for the people anyway when they don't know what's good for themselves. But when they got to the vote for Ireland, Ireland knew that this was the end of Irish sovereignty if they said yes, and they voted it down. So now we have one little nation spoiling the big dream. And quickly the larger members of the European Union said to Ireland, if you want to stay in the European Union, you better find a way to change your vote. Well, they began to funnel money, and they launched a huge public relations campaign, spent hundreds of millions of dollars, and a year or so later, the Irish people decided they better vote again. And by now, they're in the middle of the economic crisis of 2008, and they begin to think, what if we were all out here all by ourselves? We have the protection of the European Union. You know, maybe it's a good thing for us to be a part of the European Union. So the vote was held again.
This is the emergency broadcast system. Stand by for further information. Several reportings of a nuclear